I don't want to be here. I don't want to. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this homework. I don't want to do it. But like, that's the problem, right? I don't want to do it so much that if I don't force myself to do it in a stream, I'm not gonna get it done. And I know because I've been trying to get it done this whole week. It's actually due like in a month, but it's kind of a big project, and I don't want to end up doing it at the last minute. So I guess I'm gonna do at least make progress on it right now. So the reason I think it's still suitable for streaming though is because it's not just some random homework. It is for a programming class, but it's programming for a video game. So the assignment is to make at least a prototype of a video game. Now, usually I would be excited about this and want to go really hard on it and just make a game like as good as I can make it. However, this time I have my own personal project that I wish I was doing instead of this, right? I can't fit that project into the homework, so instead I'm just kind of stuck here with two projects that I have to work on, and one of them which I'm distinctly less passionate about. This is just not a good place. It's a real shame because today I wanted to stream and I wanted to work on that, right? I really wanted to. I was debating on myself whether I should do that honestly, and because I have some exciting. The stream might be freezing right now. Oh no, it's good. Okay, because I have some exciting shit to do, right? I want to. I received some graphics from the artists who I'm working with on this, and they're very good, and I wanted to implement them, and that was going to be fun, and I was going to get to make progress on this project that's been sort of my pet project, our pet project for like a while now, and instead I'm having to do this shit. So, and in Unity, by the way, which I hate. I asked my teacher, hey, can I do it in anything other than Unity? Can I make it like in Godot, right? Because programming is the same pretty much no matter where. And he was like, no, Unity is the industry standard, which... Sure. I have a lot of things to say about that university, and not all of them are nice. So instead, I'm just gonna start this stream. Here we go. Well, this to-do list is now completely useless now. It's not really related to what we're doing right now, so let's not put that here. Let's get that out. Okay, if you're wondering, this stream is not going to be on YouTube. I'm not going to be uploading this shit. I don't care. This is not a project that I care about. I'm literally only doing this so that I can stay focused for a little bit. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, it's a bit hard to notice, but there's an update to the model, to the VTuber model that I have. That's at least something to be a little bit excited about. You see, there's like borders. It's kind of hard to see here, but there's like very thin white borders around my eyes and the eyebrows, and this makes it so that you can better see the outlines when the background is dark. Right now it's not that dark, so you should be able to see it regardless, but when I'm streaming on the other overlays, some of those backgrounds get really dark, and this should make it easier to see. I might play around with making the outlines thicker, just so that it stands out a bit more, but just this much already makes it easy to see things, right? Like when I blink, you can see the bags under my eyes, right? It's good. It's good. It also makes it easier to cut the picture out for when I'm making thumbnails, so that's gonna be nice. Also, the biggest thing with this update is not really the update itself, but it's just that I managed to get Live 2D, the Live 2D editor, to work on Linux. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but I managed to do it. So thanks to Steam. So yeah, that's about it for updates and for good stuff. So now we move on to the stuff that is shit, which is this stupid project. I'm probably not going to be very talkative compared to how I am usually for the other streams, just because, you know, like I said, this is a project that I'm not very passionate about, so I'm just less to say. I just want to get shit done quickly. My objective right now is to work for, I don't know, an hour and a half and make real progress for an hour and a half, and then After that, we can just kind of relax and then do some actual stream-worthy things, you know? So yeah, not very exciting. What I did manage to get going was the camera system for this, right? So you can see like the camera follows my cursor and it sticks to a midpoint between the character and the cursor. Now in an actual game window, the character will always remain on screen, but of course in the Unity editor that's not going to happen because my mouse can have coordinates that exist outside of the screen space, right? We could fix that. Yeah, I mean, why not fix that? Right, so the conceit, the idea of this game, it's just a Vampire Survivors clone, right? Enemies swarm you and you have to shoot at them with this little gun that you have, but you have to enter these areas in order to charge it, and when you charge, you shoot at max capacity, but as you lose charge, you start shooting less and less and slower, right? Like this. And so the idea is that you're constantly moving between shooting at max and just not, right? And there's going to be a reason for you to not be shooting at max constantly. The idea is partly going to be that you get overcharged, right? So if you stand here for long enough, you're going to accumulate charge over the maximum, and if you stay at that over the maximum for too long, you're going to overload and your gun's gonna, I don't know, fucking stop working for a little bit. So it's always better to just sort of be in and out. The idea is that you're gonna have these the part of the idea is also that there's this thing. So when you're close to this, you're going to see a cable that is going to shoot from your position to the position of the charging element. In this case, it's just this charging block that exists, right? So I'm going to sort of work on that now. That's going to be the next thing that I do. And then we're going to do, so that's our objective right now. We're going to manage the cable, make sure that the cable displays, and we're going to see about texturing that later. And then after that, we're going to manage shooting, whether you can continuously shoot. I think that shooting should be automatic. Like you should have no control over whether you start or stop shooting, right? And then we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do the overload. So that's what I want to get done today. It should be fine. So for this thing, I've been playing around with the line renderer, right? Because I want to have a cable and I want that cable to sort of follow you. So I want to sort of make it like that. But the issue is that I have no idea how the line renderer works. So that's weird. What the hell? Yeah, these are the borders that just kill the bullets. Charging port. This event system, which I'm just gonna put it here. Inside the controller, that feels like it makes sense. This global light 2D, which I'm keeping just because, but it's probably not gonna affect much. Main camera. Player. This is the player, this static sprite. This is just a thing for the player to collide with. Just to test the collision. This is the charging port. So this is the line. This guy has the line renderer. Why doesn't it move? Are the points just global space points? Like if this 0 and say 10 and just global 0 and 10 no matter what, so like if I move you to 0. Okay, that's unintuitive. I don't like that, but sure. Okay, so if that's gonna be the case, then let's put this guy inside of the player and just connection render, right? And just have that be that. So this is going to have so this is going to have, right, let's just make sure size 2. Is this just how many points there are? Yeah, it is. It's the size of the array of points. We're only going to need 2 ever. Loop doesn't matter to us. Let's say that the color is just like a you know, like a yellowish gray. This is just for me to distinguish it from the background of the of the Unity editor. Right, so this is just supposed to be a cable. So the idea is we have to go into this variable and modify these values whenever the player is charging, right? Hey Nax. I'm telling you, I wish I wasn't streaming this. I wish I was streaming something real. Like the game that I'm actually making instead of this homework shit. But if I don't stream this, I'm not gonna get it done. So this is going to need a script that manipulates those values. And for multiple cables, we're gonna need multiple of these line renderers. So I think the best way is probably going to be to just sort of have an object that is a single cable. And this is going to live inside of an empty player. It doesn't need to be empty. I think a cable manager should be here. Yeah, but it's more organized if I put it inside of me. So this is going to be the cable manager, right? And inside the cable manager, there's going to be a bunch of single cables, and those single cables are going to be instantiated or deinstantiated depending on. So the point is that we're going to need a script that acts as the. So we're going to create a script, and this is going to be called cable manager. Oh god, I fucking hate. I've been getting so used to Godot. I love it so much, and now I have to go back to this. I hate it, man. I hate it here. I wanna take me back. Take me back. Right. I have to make some progress on this because otherwise I'm not going to have earned the actual fun part of the stream later. So we have this cable manager. The idea is this cable manager is a type that is going to... There should only be one per scene, but I don't want to necessarily have that be it, so let's have it be. So this is going to have... this is going to need an array of active connections, right? Because that can be as many as possible. So let's just do... fuck me, how did you write arrays in this fucking... Oh, was it? Okay. I hate it here. Take me back. Godot. Sorry, please take me back. It's not like I can't do it, it's just that I've forgotten a fair bit of things. As usual, Google is your savior, right? But in this case, I'm not using Google because I'm pretty sure that I've done it before on this project. Ah, that's a dictionary, it's not exactly what I want. But while I'm at it, really what I should be doing is also this. Then this. Yeah, save it. Yeah, there we go. So now I can see all my scripts in here. I mean, sure. Yeah, no, that is what I want. Okay. So do any of these have an array? Because I need to remember how to initialize arrays in C#. Transform, none of these. None of that. Oh, hold on, what? Oh, this I made like way before. Okay, so I don't need this then. Yeah, just move it to trash, I don't care. Player aiming. That's a dictionary, it's not an array. Hold on, I don't need an array, I need a list. Because a list has variable size. See, that's the issue. In GDScript they are the same thing. How do I initialize a list? That's substantially easier from what I remember. Right, here it is. Represents a strongly typed list of objects that can be accessed by index. List, T, that's the constructor. Yeah, can you show me how it looks in code though? Just show me a code example, please. Just like, oh, not this. Or this, actually, this would be more useful. That's an array. List, string, fruits. Right, so it's the type inside of it. Okay. So what I need is a custom class. Because I need pairs of positions, right? Pairs of positions that are currently. So oh god, I just noticed something. my left eye right from your position doesn't open the whole way. I think I fucked that up in the model when I updated it to have the edges. Oh well, it's not a real problem. I guess I'm just gonna be slightly cockeyed for a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna need a custom class, a custom struct that holds. I could use a dictionary. Bullet, cable manager, charger. No, not the charger, the player charge. Because then I have two yeah, two positions. It's not two positions, it's two transforms, because if one of them moves, I want the cable to move. So yeah, I just need a dictionary that works like that. Go to the cable manager, initialize a dictionary that holds two transform components. So transform, and the idea is that each hold on, what am I doing? All of them are going to be connected to the player. So I don't need to keep track of the player. I know it's gonna be the player. So yeah, fucking stupid. Yeah, so what I need is a list of transforms. And the list is what I was looking for. I had it right the first time. I just forgot. See, this is what I mean. This is what happens when you start coding in something else. You become really comfortable with another language and then you forget. You just forget. You forget the things that you used to know. The knowledge in your mind becomes temporary. There's nothing you can do against the unending passage of time. Thoughts and memories, once cherished, leave you with the same infinite mendacity, with the same cruelty that the universe, that the heat leaves the universe. Everything decays, we shall all die in the end. YOLO. Yeah, so it's a list of transform components, right? So transforms, which is a new list of transforms. Actually, how are you initializing this? Yeah, don't initialize it like that. I don't care. Just transform. Actually, I'm just gonna ask. Come with somebody else. How do I initialize an empty list, please? In C#. Okay, Stack Overflow. Please don't be ass like you always are. Okay, thank you. No, yeah, okay. That's just people being helpful, which is unusual. Usually they're being assholes. Right, okay, so we have a list, and this is a list of the active connections, right? So the idea is this. We're gonna give this a method that initializes. It's a public method because it's gonna have to be called from something else. So we're gonna have a public method that is going to be initialize new connection, and it's going to receive a transform type. Transform, right? It's who it is going to be connected to the player in this instance. We're also going to have another public method that is going to be sever connection. That's not a good name. New connection. Let's just say create connection, and then actually let's just call it connect to, and then disconnect from, and then it's going to receive the same transform. And so the idea is when you start a transform, when you start a connection, you add it to the list of connections. When you disconnect from, you check if you have a connection to this transform, and if you do, you eliminate it from the list of connections. Connect to has to also check if the connection is duplicate, because if it is, we don't need to make a new one. That shouldn't be possible to be called, but let's make sure that it won't cause errors even if it is called. Just code safety, right? So the idea is then connect to checks transform. If I need the list C#. I'm gonna need to know what things I can do with a list, because I'm pretty sure I need a couple of things. First, I need gets or sets the element. No, that's by index. Okay, so you're going to add. That's the thing you're going to eventually do. But you have to first check if it contains T, if it contains an element T. So if active connections contains transform, then don't do anything. The connection already exists, we don't need to add it, right? However, in the opposite case, where it doesn't have it, then we need to connect it. So active connections point add transform. The position in the list really doesn't matter, right? Then disconnect from does a similar thing. If there isn't a connection to this transform, then you don't need to disconnect from it. So we just return, right? Active connections contains transform. If it doesn't, that's what the exclamation mark does, return. Right, so otherwise we need to actually remove it. And how do we do this? Add range, add read only, binary search, clear. No, that removes everything. Convert, copy to, ensure capacity equals exists. Oh, okay. Find all, find index, find last, find last index, find index. This might be what I need, but get type, index of. This also might be what I want. Insert, last index, remove. Oh, remove. Okay, yeah, remove. Removes the first occurrence, but because we're checking before adding, if it already exists, then there should always be only one occurrence at most of whatever we feed into it. So remove. Oh, hold on, I forgot to do the sync test. Hold on. Fuck it, I'll just do it like pa. Okay, and then I click play. Okay, 1 second. Pa. Okay, yeah, it's delayed. How do I set that up properly? I have to delay... Test! Ha! It's only a little bit of delay, but I have to delay the audio. Why is the delay different on every scene? Huh? Huh. That's odd. It's not. That's very odd, actually. You know what? I'm just gonna pretend that there isn't a delay. It's not important. Let's see. Oh yeah, one thing I realized before is that my keyboard, you can just hear it, which is not good. So I'm trying to be a bit better about that. Just keeping it away from my microphone and stuff. It's not, the problem is not that you can hear the keyboard. If you hear the clacks of the keyboard, I don't care. The problem is that you can hear my desk when I put my hands up to the keyboard. This like slamming noise, and that's wildly unpleasant on stream. So I'm trying to be better about that. Okay, what am I going to do? Right, if the active connection exists, if there is an active connection to this, then yes, do it. If not, then what I just saw was remove T. So yeah, active connections, point, remove, and then remove the transform, right? And this makes sure that we have an updated list of every single active connection that we have. That's good. So then, now we need to actually do something with those connections, right? These are just for somebody from outside to communicate to this cable manager what I wanted to do, but this cable manager still needs to be able to display the cables. In order to do that, it's going to need a couple of things. So let's make this list of parameters a bit more organized. This is header, reference, no, not references, these are variables. They are references and variables, but usually I mean different things when I use it like that. It's just for me to understand. We have variables, we are going to need a couple of references, so references, and the most important is just a transform that it has to be serializable so that we can modify it from the inspector, and transform a transform component that is the thing that we're connecting from, right? Every cable is going to be connected from this to whatever transforming has been given to connect to, right? It's by default it's just going to be itself, but we're going to see. And then it also is going to need a prefab that is going to use, and it's going to be each cable. So header prefabs, and this prefab is going to be like serialize field yeah, it's just a game object cable, whatever game object that acts as the cable. No, actually we can do it better. We can do it, we can make it an actual line render. Please tell me that that's the name of the line renderer component in code. Why would it be something different? I forgot to put the return types. See, this is what I mean. I miss Godot, man. It didn't make me do this stupid shit. It's really, there's nothing wrong with making me do that. It's just that I forget, because in Godot it doesn't. You know what I mean? Right, okay, so then the thing that I want is, do you err by not knowing what line render is, first of all, and second, if you don't, can I add the line render, or do you just assume that's something else? It's called the cable manager, I think. Yep. Yep, it works. Okay, good, perfect. Okay, so we have the line render, right? So the idea is then, whenever I create a new connection, I also have to create the line renderer that corresponds to it, right? So it would have been better with a dictionary. Fuck. Yeah, I should have made it as a dictionary. It's just better. Because I need to establish a connection between this transform and the line render that I create so that I can then eliminate it. So how was it a dictionary? It was player charge, like this? Yeah. So dictionary like this, create a dictionary like that. So yeah, it associates a transform with a line renderer. And it's called active connections. It's a new one of this. Right, easy peasy. And then in order to create something to it, I do it like in order to check it, I needed to do try get values, so it's gonna be like if active connections point try get value, and it's going to need the transform and an out value that is just a useless because I don't actually need it, but it doesn't match the function signature if I don't do that. Why? The function could just return the value, but no, we have to use an out, whatever. Like that, and if that's... Oh no, the function does return, and it returns false. That's why. Yeah, if you can get the value, then return, and this is the same, except if you can't get the value, then return. And then in order to add, it is... yeah, and I have to give it to both, so I have to create the both, but in order to remove, I have to just give it the transform. So here, I have to create the cable. So, cable point... How do I instantiate things in Unity? I always forget. Just give it the object, and then the parent transform. The actual position of the line renderer component doesn't matter because the line renderer just takes global positions anyway. So instantiate original transform parent. Yeah. So do I just call that on the... Yeah, okay. So instantiate a new cable inside of my transform. The transform of the cable manager. So the idea is, I'm not a potato. When have you seen a potato this white? If I was a potato, I would be rotten. I'm not rotten. At least I hope so. Jury's out. I tried sniffing myself just so I could see if I was rotten. Okay, so I instantiate a new cable, given it the transform, then yeah, I need to hold on to that cable. So new cable equals the result of this, and it is of type line renderer, right? And then I give that new cable to the dictionary, and now I have a new cable. Right, so the idea is on update, and it has to be update, not fixed update, because this is not going to actually affect gameplay. This is only a visual thing. So on update, what do I do on update? But you are a potato. I shall name you Potato. Programmer Potato. Tell you what, it would be a better handle than Soar, which I'm now stuck with. Anyway, hi. I didn't say hi because I was just too busy being offended at being called a potato. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad to have you here. And it's a shame that you came on the one stream that I'm not excited at all about because it's homework. But I'm glad that you're here. Right, so on update, I have to update every connection. So for every cable, I have to update it, right? So let's just do what I usually do and write it in stages just in case. So update cables, one function to do that. And all that this function does is that, so Mr. Potato, what are you doing? Is this a game? Yeah, sure. Actually, let me show you. This is a game that I have to do for uni. It's some programming homework, but like we're supposed to make a small game. It's not working. All right, I have to create the variable. Yep. Useless. Very useless. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's some programming homework that I have to. Man, why you gotta be like that? Yeah, line render, sure. Yeah, it's some homework that I have to do for uni. It's due in like a month. I have to complete this small game. Uni teaching game development since when? Since yeah, no, it's a, I mean, I say uni, it's a shitty college, man. I forget that in English you make that distinction because I speak Spanish. That's my mother tongue. Yeah, no, it's just a shitty college course. It's a whole story. I'm not gonna go into it right now, but basically I signed up for something else and I ended up here, right? So I'm trying to make the best of it. Yeah, no, it's just this sort of shooty game where you are this little square and you're shooting these pellets, right? And you have to stay inside this red area to charge your gun, and then as you exit, your gun shoots slower and slower. That's sort of the idea. And I'm gonna make it so that the gun overcharges if you stay inside this area for too long, so you have to be constantly going in and out, right? It's a whole game development course, and it's not very good. It's not. I would not recommend you get into doubt to enter this course. Not that you could, because you probably don't live in Chile, but you know, just in case you do, it's a bad one. Don't. Just don't. Okay? Just don't. Believe me, if this had been the only option when I signed up, I wouldn't have taken it. I shouldn't shit talk my college so much while I'm in it. People would say that you could get in trouble for that. None of these people know English, so I don't care. Okay, so I have to, incidentally, that's also part of the reason why I'm not particularly excited about this, you know, homework. But I still get to make games, so I guess beggars shouldn't be. Don't what? I wasn't listening. Don't sign up for my college. I'm just bitching about my college, man. I'm kind of glad you weren't listening because it wasn't very entertaining. But yeah, no, we have a course in college, in this college for game development. Right. So. Alright, update the cables, and then this function, really all that it does is update. Just call update a function that updates a single cable on each element of the cable list. So for each, fuck, how do you iterate through a dictionary? See, that's the issue. I wish I was doing this in Godot because I'm way too used to it by now. how do you, I'm having to Google everything. I hadn't had to do that in C# since I learned it, but I've forgotten a lot of it. For each, how do you iterate through a dictionary in C#? Tell you what though, having the programming lexicon, Mr. Potato, don't worry, I am already a uni student. Hey, that doesn't, that's not, that doesn't, you could still drop out and sign up for something different. I'm not saying you should, in fact I'm saying you shouldn't. That's happened, it's happened to me. For each key value pair entry in, wait. For each T1 key, T2 value in, oh, you can do it like that. Okay, that's good. I'm just gonna copy that so that I can, right, so for each, I guess I need two parentheses, sure. For each transform line renderer cable in active connections do. Right? And then for each one of these, really all that I want you to do is to update the cable itself, right? So we don't have to access the dictionary actually, because those are just, all of those are references. The transform is a component, the line renderer is a component, so modifying it outside of the, yeah. So that's fine. So then just update cable singular, transform and cable. Actually, this shouldn't be called transform. Connected. Yeah, connected works because it's the thing that this cable is connected to, and then you do that. And then by void update cable singular, and this receives a transform, which is the connect target, and a cable, which is a line renderer. And then this is going to have to update the cable to match the line renderer. So the point of this is happening every frame, so that might be bad, but we'll see. It shouldn't. Iterating through a bunch of line renderers shouldn't be a problem. So how do I access variables inside of a line renderer? I have no idea. Unity, scripting, API, line renderer. Please tell me those are open variable. Those are open values that I can access. I should have checked that before I decided to do it with line renderer. They should be though. It would be pretty useless if it weren't. Alignment, color gradient, and color and width, general lighting data, loop, mask interaction, numcap first, and whatever it was count. Position count. Again, I'm not a potato. I don't know what I am. I'm not a potato. This is, by the way, this is just in case you wanted to know. Mr. Potato, don't worry, I'm already fucked. It doesn't matter what I choose, I will always be fucked. For example, I have an exam tomorrow that I haven't studied yet, and yeah, here I am talking to a potato on your screen. Okay, maybe go study. I don't know. Just say. Although, you know, like, comment, and subscribe and all. I'm sure you got it, man. I'm sure you got it. Don't even worry about it. You're gonna get it in the end. Okay, position count. So I have no position count. That's the number of vertices. I want all the positions. Start color. Start with texture. No texture scale. Take mesh, get position, get positions. Set position and set positions. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna need set positions. And this I give it an array of vector 3 positions. Position count is always going to be 2. Even if I start it, that won't change anything. The result will still be the same. I hope that means that it's a good result. Haha. Okay, so I know that set positions is going to be, the position count is going to be 2. So I don't care about that. I'm going to assume that that's going to be the case because that's going to be defined in my preval. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cable and I'm going to call init set positions. And those positions are going to be set to an array of new positions. And those new positions are going to have to be calculated beforehand. So we need new positions, which is going to be an array of vector 3. Is that how you initialize an array? That doesn't feel right. How do you initialize an array in C#? Yeah, you feed it the values, but... Oh, you just write it. Okay, so it doesn't need the parentheses because it's not a function. Got it. So yeah, we initialize an array of vector 3. Do I have to give it the size actually? Oh yeah, I have to give it the size. Okay, it's 2. It's 2 vector 3s. And then new positions point, or rather 1, no, not 1, 0, is the position of the connect from. So connect from point global position, right? Do you wear glasses by any chance? No, I don't. I've always thought glasses look good, so I've been interested in wearing glasses just for the style, but no, it's just one more thing for me to lose or sit on top of by being clumsy. So I mean, to be fair, if you wear glasses for just the style of it, it doesn't really matter if you sit on top of your glasses, because the glasses that just don't have the prescription are way cheaper. You can get them for like $2. It doesn't matter, right? But yeah, no, it's just I wish I was like not blind. I don't wish that I had vision problems. I wish that I had that I was better at being careful with my own stuff, because then I would totally wear glasses just because I think they look good. But no, it's just too much futzing around. Also, like, I mean, you're looking at me right now. This is me. This is my real body. I'm not wearing glasses. This is me. I'm for real. I'm for real a cartoon rice ball. Connect from global position. Or potato, I guess, as you have decided. Well, is it global position actually? I always forget. Because either Unity or Godot, one of them does global and local positions where the default position is the default. No, it's just position. It's just position, yeah. Right, so position. Connect from point position, and then position 1 is connect from connect target point position. Never mind, I asked the question to say a stupid joke. I was wanting you to say yes, I will respond because you can see sharp. Stupid. Because I can see sharp. Fuck you, man. Hey, I can see sharp without the glasses. This is such a bad joke. What does that say about me that I laughed though? Okay, new position, new positions. Right, and so I do this. Okay, the one thing that I almost forgot to do is that when I disconnect from, I have to destroy the line renderer. So, so in this case, I do need the out actually to destroy, and this to destroy, then I'll destroy it. So destroy, but don't destroy the to destroy, because the to destroy is only the line renderer inside the game object, and if I only destroy that, then I'll be left with an empty game object that doesn't serve any purpose and is wasting memory. So instead I do to destroy point game object, like that, and that should work once I set everything correctly on this side. Yep, console error. My Jesus, that's a bunch of errors. You can't see the errors because I'm covering them, it doesn't matter. Syntax error while expected. While? 21? What do you mean? Which line? 21? How the fuck do you write? How did I forget how to write a for each? Oh man, I'm forgetting the very basics of how to do this shit. Yeah, no, it's just for each, huh? Weird. I could have sworn it was 2. There's no argument given that corresponds to the required parameter, formal position of whatever. Cable manager 28. Cable set position, new positions. Huh. Oh. Set positions. Multiple. Ah. Bum bum bum. Oh goddammit, my mouse unplugged. Okay, there we go. This stupid mouse, this stupid hub that I have is just not amazing. Okay, so first of all, I need to set that up set this stuff up correctly. So I go to the prefabs and I create a new one that is just this cable. Right? Perfect. Delete this because it's already saved here. And then not the charge meter, the cable manager is going to need to know, hey, this is your cable, and you connect from yourself really for now. And then nothing's going to happen, right? Nothing's going to happen because I haven't yet hooked stuff up. The idea is this cable manager is going to trigger when these signals are sent, but I need somebody to actually send these signals, somebody to actually tell it to connect or disconnect from things. The one who should do that is the player charger, because he's the one who knows who the player is currently using to charge. So when you enter a trigger and that trigger is a charge and the charge component is not null, you begin the charge. Wait, no, this is charger. Is the charge? Which one? Charge component? Yeah, it's the player charge. That's the one. Yeah. So when a charge begins, you do this stuff, and then you should know. Yeah, you need to know who the cable manager is. Cable manager, and then the cable manager, you tell, hey cable manager, I need you to start managing a new cable. I need you to connect to the charge source point transform to that position. Right? Interesting. I'm just pretending that I understand what you're doing. Hey, that's just what happens. Right? To be honest, I just I'm not particularly good at explaining it, because like I could explain it, but then that would get in the way of me doing the thing, you know what I mean? Like I could explain it better. I mostly when I'm streaming coding, I'm streaming it just so that I focus, right? Because if I'm not streaming it, what will happen is that I'll just get distracted by, like, I don't know, Twitter or whatever. Whereas if I'm streaming it, there's at least an expectation that somebody will be watching, and so that'll keep me focused, right? Because you can't just scroll Twitter for half an hour. I say Twitter, it's not really Twitter. Most of the time it's just YouTube. You can't just really scroll YouTube for 3 hours while you're on stream. That would not be a very good stream. Okay, so yeah, when you begin a charge, you do that. When you end the charge, you gotta do the opposite. So you gotta call disconnect from and give it the transform. Disconnect from, give it the charge source, but the transform of the charge source. So charge source point transform, like that, and that should make it so that it works. And it didn't. Okay, something errored. You can tell that it's erroring because the red text down below. The name disconnect from does not exist. What do you mean it doesn't? Oh yeah, because it's cable manager. It's disconnect from inside of cable manager. There you go. Okay, no errors, and then right. So what should be happening is that when I enter this very faint red circle, a cable should appear, and it should be like an ugly fucking thing, right? Like a really ugly thing, but it's a cable, and the position should be set correctly, and they should move along with me. Okay, they didn't. Nothing happened. Also, I need to know who was printing this, because yeah, the player shooter 25, player shooter here, line 25. I don't want you to show me that anymore. Okay. And then what is going on? Okay, is this stuff even happening? Is this stuff being called? Are you being connected to anything? Tell me if you are. Yes, I am. Right? And then, are you being connected? Are you even attempting it? Oh wait, no, of course it's not going to work. I forgot. Yeah, I need to. Because the issue is that the player shooter, no, the player charge, does not know who the cable manager is. I forgot to tell it. Right here. Okay, there we go. Now it should work. Or at the very least, it should error in a different way that gives us more progress, because that's what programming is like. Yeah, no, cable shows, and cable shows correctly. And then when I leave, it leaves. Okay, it would be nice to have it have Vulcanizer and have it have like a little animation or something, but this is good enough. That all that stuff is visual stuff. The programming works. Okay, how do you work with multiple connections then? Like if I duplicate this and I enter the common area, do you manage it correctly? Like, okay, here it works, and when you enter both, it also works. Okay, that's excellent. That actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. Right, so the idea is these things are charging you, so when that happens, you extend a cable to it, and then, you know. Of course. So... okay, I'll tell you. This is what I'm going to do right now. Just immediately. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Just give me a second. I gotta go to the restroom, you know. I have returned. By the way, just so I don't get into it immediately. The origin for, and this is a bit of an old forgotten meme, the origin for my avatar, and the way that it looks actually, is, one second. Okay, Jesus, that took a while to come out. The origin for my avatar is that, yeah, it's a drawing that I had on my computer, right? It's a drawing that I had made for just another video, right? But the drawing I made was actually based on this ancient, around 2000s, right? Ancient Japanese meme phase. It's just, if you look at it, if you look for it as, if you look it up by Shobon, or SYOBON, Shobon, you'll probably find it. It's a bit of a forgotten meme by now, even in Japan, and it wasn't a very big meme even in the West anyway. But it was just an ASCII face that people would post, and so I just kind of drew it offhandedly for no reason. And then when I was learning how to rig stuff in Live 2D, I figured I would just use some picture that I found on my computer, and that was the one, right? And then once it was rigged, my intention was to use it to learn rigging, and then to just make a real rig. But then once it was done, I was like, why not just use this as my avatar, right? I just thought it would be funny. Okay, let's see. Here we go. So yeah, that's the backstory. Okay, so the cable works. However, I do want support for animation, right? So let's erase this. Right, so I do want some support for animation. Obviously, I don't have any of the graphics. None of the graphics in this are just final. They're all very temporary, very nothing stuff, right? So when I do end up doing the actual graphics, I'm gonna know what I want it to look like. But until then, I want to have support for the cable to just not just appear, but for it to just sort of extend from one place to the other, right? And so I think that a good way to do that would be by calculating the position on the fly, right? So basically, for every cable, there should be a yeah, for every single active connection, there should be a number that goes from 0 to 1. So we're gonna add it to each cable, right? Each cable is going to be in charge of handling that itself. So we're gonna need a script for these. So let's script, new script. It's just cable. And this is going to be a super simple script. The idea is going to be each cable is going to be in charge of updating its own positions, so we're actually going to have to change stuff in the cable manager as well. Basically, we're going to take this update cable function and move it over to here. But that's fine. So each cable is going to have two variables that are its serialized field, two transforms that are its connect from and its connect to, right? So the idea is on each update, you're going to update, they are going to update the two cable positions to match the positions that they're connecting from and to, right? So essentially the same as this. You also are going to need to know your own line renderer component, so also these don't need to be like this, but they do need to be public, so actually just like that, and we'll make them public and hide in inspector because I don't want them to show. They are public because others need to access them, but they are, but not the user, right? So yeah, like that. And then on each update, you are going to basically do this. So I create a new vector array of vector 3 that are the two new positions that we're going to change it to. There are going to be two of them. One of them is the connect from's position, and one of them is the connect to's position, and then you set them, right? And then that's going to be happening every frame, so that's fine. So we don't need to actually do this or this, but we just need to make sure that when you connect them, you give them who they are. So rather than connecting to a line renderer, we actually should connect to the cable component within it, so we can access it quicker. And then in this cable, you are going to take this cable, and you're going to say cable connect from is going to be equal to transform, and cable connect to is going to be equal to transform. Like that. No, not to transform to. Right. Connect from your transform, connect to the connect target. Connect target, and then here same thing. Yeah, like that, like that. Okay, and then we don't need this either. Okay, so now every cable is responsible for its own upkeep, for keeping up its own cables, right? And that should just work. Except for the part where I forgot a semicolon somewhere. Here. Right, this says cannot implicitly convert this to line render. Where did I do that? I did it here. So this is script cable, script cable, script cable, script cable, script cable, script cable, like this. And you say that cable doesn't exist, that is in cable. This is in the line renderer. Right, so this basically achieves the same thing that we already had, but it's more, it makes more sense under the hood and it's going to let me do other stuff. Except for the part where I forget to set up the other stuff. So yeah, this first type mismatch because it was a different thing before. Instead, I need you to be this. This. No, not that. Yeah, because I forgot to. Yep. Cable. And you need to know who your own line renderer is. So this one. And then that should be it. Clear. The object I want to instantiate is null. Why do you think that it is null? Because I forgot to set it. Yep. There you go. And you say that connect from has not been assigned. So, but that should have been assigned here. So what are you on about? Oh, yeah, because this is new cable, not just cable. I'm just getting the names of variables wrong. Yep, there you go. Okay, so now it works exactly the same as it did before. No errors, so that's good. And now what we are able to do thanks to that is that since the cable stuff is being handled here, I can make a new variable that is going to come and fix it. Yeah, no, it just did. It just fixed it. Another thing that we're gonna do is yeah, so now I want to make it so that it can display, even though it's holding the 2 on the front position, it won't connect directly to it immediately, and it's going to instead have an amount of how close to connecting it is. So we're going to have a new variable, and this one is a parameter, really. I'm gonna have a parameter here. This is going to be a float that goes from 0 to 1, right? I'm gonna serialize. This one is important that it is serialized because this parameter is going to be the what do I name it, right? This is a number that represents from 0 to 1 how close to the 2 point the cable it is. So let's just call it connection progress. And the idea is, if this value is 0, then the cable is going to be just 2 points exactly at the connect from point. If this value is 1, it is going to be 1 point at connect from and 1 point at connect to. If this value is 0.5, then it's going to be 1 point at connect from and 1 right in the middle, right? So the idea is by increasing this value, we can make this point just sort of glide along the distance between connect from and connect to. And so if we modify it using an animation, we can have it so that the cable sort of extends towards that point, right? And that's the idea. So this is going to be a bunch of math, a bunch of specifically vector math, but it shouldn't be difficult. I feel like it's pretty easy. So basically what we want to do is we want to get the distance between connect from and connect to, and we want to get an endpoint that it is a connection progress factor of that distance plus the connect from point. This makes sense in my mind. So what it should be is we're gonna call it a new function. So find endpoint. It's going to be equal so the ending position is going to be the result of this function, right? And so in order to do it, what we do is find endpoint. So the way that we do this is, first of all, we need the distance and direction from the end position, from the start position to the end position. So that is connect to point position minus connect from point position, right? And this is the displacement, right? So this is like if the representationally it is if the axis coordinate system had its origin at the connect to position, then connect from would be at this point. Or in other words, from connect to, where and how long do I need to walk to get to connect from, right? No, connect from position is where and how long do I need to walk from the origin, but subtracting it from connect to means that it is, wait, hold on. Yeah, I have it right. But subtracting from a connect from means that it is how long do I need to walk, not from the origin, but from the connect from, right? And so that's going to be the displacement. So then with this displacement, it's really easy. All that we need to do is multiply it by the connection progress. So the actual distance. Actually, let's just call it total. It's not distance, is it? Because distance is a scalar. It's just an amount. So this would have to be it's the total position. No, this is the full position. The position when we're all the way to the connect to, right? The actual position, the position when we're only part way towards, it's going to be the full position. Times the connection progress. So if the connection progress is 0.5, then it's going to be half of it. And then the global full position so in the global coordinate, to retranslate it into the global coordinates, it's going to be the same actual position, but we add it to the connect to. No, the connect from. I sure hope I got my vector math right, because I don't wanna actually have to diagram this out, even though I should have. Right. So this should make it so that when I set this variable to 1, it should behave exactly the same as it has been so far. But if I change it, we're going to see something different. Right? Exactly the same behavior, all fine. But if I go into this single cable and I change the connect, could you just not? Thank you. Okay, let's keep the camera still so that this isn't such a pain. Put it here. And then we're gonna go to this single cable, and what we should see is that if I make this number go down and up, the cable should move along. So like this, from 0 to 1, and then I can even go beyond, and it just works. Okay, this is great. Okay, so it may not seem like that's much, but this is what this achieves, right? Say that I take this and I give it an animator component. Right, and then within it, I start up, let's create a new folder. This is for animations. And we're gonna create a new subfolder for the cable. And let's say that in here, we're gonna, what was the hotkey again? Control 6, yeah, and Control F6, I think, or Control Shift and 6, Control Alt and 6, Shift and 6. There was one. This is the animator, and the other one is the animation. Yeah, this is the animation, and the other is the animator. Right. So then in this single cable, we are going to create an animation clip, and we're going to just call it connect. And so the cool thing about this is I can now animate this value. So I say, the value starts at 0, and then over the course of 0.1 second, I think it is what this is, it is going to move to 1, but it is going to move with a different curve than this. It's going to not move like this, but rather tangents weighted. It's going to move like this, so real quick at the beginning, and then real slow at the beginning, and then it super quickens up. So it sort of mimics the curve of something being thrown, right? Like this. And then the idea is this is modifying this value, right? Which of course is going to reflect on the cable itself. This is very quick, right? Just like that, a couple of frames. But when I gotta make it so that it doesn't loop, so it doesn't loop, right? And this, it just starts here and then it stays here, and since it doesn't loop, it's not gonna start again, right? And so if I go into the game now, it should be that when the cable appears, it's not just gonna pop in, it's gonna like be launched from the player to the connector. Right? Like that. Yeah, and if I want the cable to look different, to maybe go slower or to do something else, I can manage that from the animator without touching a single line of code. Yeah, works fine. Now the idea is obviously that there's gonna be like particle effects and stuff, like yeah, and also just so that that small pop in at the beginning doesn't happen, we have to make it so that on the prefab itself, the first frame, it should be at 0. It should start at 0 and then become. So yeah, obviously this looks very rough, and that's because I haven't figured out the graphics for this game yet. I don't know when I'm gonna do that. Honestly, for a lot of the other games that I have made, I had like a vision for what I wanted the graphics to look like. For this one, I just don't. Just have nothing, man. I have no idea how I want this to look like. I may end up just using the blips and squares. And I've been at this for about an hour and a half, which is what I had set out as my initial objective. So I think this is good enough progress. I'm going to be right back, and when I'm back, I'm going to be working on something that I'm actually excited about for once. Yeah, so look forward to that. Give me a second though. Alright, yeah, so I'm gonna be right back, and when I'm back, I'm gonna be working in a better game engine. Better game engine. Godot is a better game engine than Unity. Be right back.